repeat the one.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I needed to call the budget hearing to order and turn it over to Mr. Beaver.
Hello, everyone. This particular meeting was entirely for the public, right? We have requirements by the state that we have to have present our information to the State Board of Accounts, Department of Local Finance, and to the people. And then we have to pause for 10 days and have a meeting for you guys to come ask any kind of question you might have. Then we wait another 10 days to adopt that budget on October 28th. So the reason behind this meeting is to somehow satisfy any concerns or issues you guys might have. The floor is yours. If anyone wants to speak, they can come talk to the podium. If you have any questions.
Any questions to the board or?
Yes, whoever you wish to ask.
It's on the budget.
Yeah.
If you have any questions about the budget.
Oh, not right now.
Come up here. I know the last time we talked about the budget in here, I requested that y'all examine internally to not raise bills. My question is, did you examine internally? Where we at?
We still gotta look at stuff.
Okay.
So
That's
we're looking at a few
understandable.
other options and stuff like that. But
Okay.
yes.
I have done some homework and I have done some comparable to our cities around us as far as wages and stuff and how they handle comp time and overtime and stuff like that. So
Okay.
I have done some research on that, yes.
Sounds good. That's the main question. I don't know, am I forgetting anything? Anybody know? I don't want to be spokesman of the group, but I'm already up here. But yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, I think that is a real concern. I want to stress again how important it is that if there's any way we don't have to bear that burden on our bills, you need to find it. And that means you don't give raises if you can't get raises. I'm not being mean. I want everybody to make a good living. Workers worthy of his keep, that's biblical. But at the same time, not on the backs of people like us. I mean, it's too much. It's just too much. That's all.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else?
My name is Melanie Beaver and I live at 627 National. I have three things I'd like to ask or present tonight, but one is on fiduciary duty, one is on the employee handbook, and the third one is on the budget. I can only speak to the budget part, correct?
Yes.
Save the other two for another night. Okay, regarding the budget, I paid attention in these meetings and I've reviewed the budget printouts that are often made available to the public. It appears that the decisions of the board have resulted in the overspending of the budget for the past 3 consecutive years. The expenses of this town exceed the revenue of this town. We currently have 1/3 of one street department employee whose time is dedicated to the town's needs. You have 7 full-time police officers. You have more than 12 reserve officers. All other departments in the town combined, including your seats, do not equal that amount. The police department takes 95% of the town budgets each year, and the other 5% is spent on 1/3 of the clerk treasurer's salary and your salary. The street department should have at least 3 employees. We should have employees tend to the tree trimming and removal, alleyway care, sidewalk care, blighted properties, street cleaning, and street sweeping. Officer Tommy Roberts does this in his free time. He is not compensated for this. Sewer and water do town work and are not compensated for this. When you have to use water and sewer employees to do town maintenance and repairs, it is obvious that you are not allocating your resources correctly. There is no paid position to support the overall aesthetics, upkeep, and maintenance of this little town. There is no budget for the 7th Street Park and no dedicated resources to maintain it. There is no money in your budget allocated to maintain the welfare of this town. If this town looks good in any area, you can thank the homeowners and a mighty group of volunteers, because no one is paid to do these things. There is not one person being paid to work truly for this town. My question to you this evening is simple. What do you plan to do to make better decisions and better manage the town's money in 2026 and beyond?
First, I'd like us.
Thank you.
Redirect stuff.
She's hoping, thank you.
Thank you.
Your speech will be taken into consideration.
Anybody else?
Thank you. You have more insight than everybody else, and thank you for sharing that.
I just got my information from the documents that I still have that have always been made public, and I've highlighted and
I
noted
have a
everything.
question though also about that too, because you were real specific on the clerk's treasurer, and I know in all three of those clerk treasurers' salaries, there were three different amounts. The first amount was like the first amount was $19,000, then it went to $17,000, then it was $14,000. So that's not really, that wasn't really specific on the clerk treasurer's salary. And I understand that, yes, the budget, the police department takes a majority of our budget, and we are looking at doing cuts with that.
Thank you.
Well, what's crazy about the police department though, is when they go make a stop or arrest somebody, they'll wait until they're off work and then come in and do all the work in there and get 2 or 3 hours overtime. That's gotta stop.
Yes.
We got a way to address that,
We are
Chris.
aware,
It's getting ready to
yes.
come.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything? Yes, ma'am.
How much is the town budget?
It's 710 and,
That's correct.
710,510 is what we're adopting. I've actually padded to be $938,000, but they're going to, the Department of Local Government Finance is going to approve our budget. They're going to drop some significant amount of money from there, about $118,000 right away, and then we're going to be probably settled in right about 808 if we're lucky. They're trying to max out the levy. Under the law, we can get a little bit more money out of the tax, property tax. Not that you're paying more, but there's a little sliver left that we can ask for that we haven't been getting. We're trying to get that little bit more to try to pad that budget. The budget's still going to be 710,510, but they may give us a little padding so we can reappropriate towards the end of the year next year to save something that we may have forgotten to find and pay for.
Thank you.
And on another note, I was going to hand out a piece of paper today, but it's just simpler if I just read it. And it's just the totals of how much we had come in each year and how much we spent for those 3 years. For example, 2021, we received $88,449.46, and we spent $811. So that year, 2021, we did it, right? We slivered by, we did it. 2022, we got in $743,000, I'm just kind of rounding, and we paid out $773,000. We overspent. 2023, we received $683,000. We spent $1,042,000. 24, we received in $930,000. We spent $1,063,000. When I did the math for 2026, we're about $1,031,000 if we stay the same. So there's a lot there the budget doesn't really clarify, right? How much we really got in and how much we spend, it's still kind of, it has its ebbs and flows with taxes and everything, so we could end up with a little bit more money, but the truth of the matter is we need to spend a lot less, and provide a lot better services.
Thank you.
Okay. I mean, it's easy to sit out here and guess, because we don't have all the information that y'all have.
Correct.
So keep that in mind with some of these questions.
Oh, we know.
All right.
That's very understandable. That's why we have these for.
Yes, that's right. So we can all understand, because, we talk about transparency. I think we're getting better. Okay, I appreciate that. All right. Do you have specific things that are budgeted for specific things. Like you can't rob Peter to pay Paul legally, correct?
No, everything's line item, Sean, so
Okay.
when you get your line items,
Yeah.
like you got the MBH account, you may have 49,000 restricted, and then so much you can spend.
Yes.
You get your local roads and streets, that money's local roads and streets, you get your general fund, which is what everybody's salaries are paid out
Okay.
of. I mean, Steph ain't paid out of.
No, and I know there's different breakdowns from the different entities, the different
And this
departments.
town's never had more than one street guy, ever. It's always been one.
But my question is there certain money dedicated just for this versus that?
You have.
Yes,
Not to be
yes.
that, not to be
Yes.
so vague.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Right?
there is, yes.
Okay, and I understand it was, something's happened, mistakes were made, and I'm not saying
Right.
who did what.
So,
Right.
I don't mean to say that.
How you're big, where it looks like we spent a bunch.
Yeah.
So when Emily and Lisa did the last budget, there was 1.5 million. The state approved it because we had almost a $700,000 surplus.
Right.
So what happened was you burnt through that surplus, brought you back down to
Yeah.
zero in your surplus,
Right,
leveled everything out.
And-
then that's why we cut 5 cops and
and we're trying to build it back up now,
Right.
my understanding,
Correct,
correct?
yes.
Isn't that what we're doing?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
and
so,
to do that, you got Kevin
yeah, we gotta go back.
figuring out, okay, what can we do? Am I right in saying if I overstate something, correct me, I'm just open, I'm easy, I can take it. But isn't that what we're trying to do now? You're trying to figure out what is our legalities, what can we do to make this better? How can we
Yes.
cut here to make this better, correct?
And it's just the tax dollars.
Sure.
It's just for our town.
Right.
That has nothing to do with the
No.
utilities.
No, that's a whole
Right,
other issue,
yes,
I
yes.
realize that. But my next question is, what's the legalities, and we talked about, getting some boards.
Yes, yes, some
and different
committees
groups,
going.
What is the
Yes.
legality, because I don't know what you are able to do, what you're not able to do
I am,
legally.
Jared is working on that
Okay,
to go
okay,
ahead
so
and
we're trying-
let me
I
know, yeah,
appreciate
so
it.
we're trying to get that put together, yes.
Because if you, I feel like if you get enough of us members in here, sit down with you rationally and give us the information, we can all sit down as a group in concern, not in.
Thank you for
condemning
that word
everybody. Well, it
rationally,
needs to
is
be
yeah,
rationally, that's,
yes.
the bickering ain't gonna help either.
Right,
We
right,
gotta come together and get
Sometimes
this
get out.
done, that's what we've gotta do in here. But if we could sit down, you may have an idea of what's more important to us. I mean, his importance might be different than mine a little bit, you gotta get in there and see what's more important, right?
right.
I mean, I don't know this, not the
Getting a
police don't know that it
balance.
is, but I don't
Guys,
see him enough other than, I'm not gonna mention
This ain't
names.
even the toughest budget. Next year.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're losing.
Right,
Because
that's everywhere, and that's why when I was
Right.
speaking of wages, I'm one of those
Right.
guys. I
You
don't
know,
know how
yeah,
to do
you
it, but
know
I know I have a
your
job to
yes,
do, whether
yes.
I get an increase or not, and
Sure.
if they don't feel that way, guess what? Someone else is gonna do the same way, go ahead. I mean, I don't know what to say about it, I've been here, I worked here as well as some of these people worked here, and I understand it's low wage. I left money to come here, I tried hard to make it here, but it didn't work out for me, so I had to go back to what I could make. And that's choices they're gonna have to make, but if this is all we can afford to pay them, I don't know about y'all, but I don't wanna pay them when I can't afford to pay them, how about you?
Right, you're
So
exactly
don't raise my bill
right.
to give someone more money, it's not gonna work out. That's, just think about things on an individual basis, let us come in and help you if we can, set up these boards, and then you're gonna know who wants to be there, and who don't want to be there.
your water rate and your wastewater rate is coming in effect is by the state. That's to cover your grants that was to cover the maintenance costs and everything like that.
But maintenance is an expense of wages, that's part of maintenance, correct?
Correct.
Let someone take a truck home for no reason, that's part of maintenance. I mean, there's ways, this is a whole deep hole that we need to sit down and get into
Yes.
deeper than this. I mean, I don't wanna bring all this dirty laundry out in front of everybody. If we don't have all the information to look at, it's not fair
Right.
to
You're
you, me,
exactly
or
right.
anyone in here. But for what it's worth, I appreciate the effort. We can all sit here and act like this is easy, but there's a lot we don't know. There's a lot to learn. I appreciate it. All I ask is one more time, and it looks like it's getting better, work together. You guys are not enemies.
Thank
You're not. You can't
Thank
be enemies. You can disagree. I want you to disagree.
Yes.
That's what comes to the truth. When you have one idea and another idea, you get to the truth.
And it was a lot easier when we didn't have the cameras on. Now that we have the cameras on,
Yeah.
we all have to be transparent. I know I have to. My voice is loud to begin with.
Well,
And I know I
don't
have
know
to.
what I am, but I'll look, but-
I know, believe me, I know.
But I like to see, I've been here a couple times, it seems like there's some attacks on certain individuals, and it seemed like there was some I don't like that, and it looks like it's getting
Diversity,
better.
you're right, I don't.
You gotta work hard at
The
that. You don't have to like
diversity,
each other. At the end of the day, you got a job to do. Your main job is what's best for the town of West Terre Haute, not what's best for you. What's best for the town of West Terre Haute. That's about all.
I have a
Thank you, Sean.
question to, Shane and Jody on purchase orders. You was holding up some paperwork here a while back, a couple meetings ago, on invoices with no purchase order. How is a purchase order handled with this town? Does employee, can he go get it done and then ask for a purchase order?
Only in emergencies.
Yes, and that's something that we need to work on, and we
I'd
have
say so.
lacked communication on this.
No
On this
employee
reason,
should be
yes.
able to spend the town's money without
Okay.
on the proper
If they
procedure.
call me, I'll say for instance, it was a Friday afternoon, our water superintendent had said, hey, that garage back door isn't locking, can I get a lock? You know what I mean?
Well,
I
that's
got
emergency.
wrapped, okay.
That's emergency.
So yes, I called somebody, hey, can we get it done? Yes, he came and looked, he seen what we need done, I can have it here Monday, okay, go ahead, get it done. Next thing I know, I'm being accused, everybody knew, I had checked with another, hey, we gotta spend this $275 to get this taken care of. You know what, and yes, it was an emergency, and then the next, you know what I mean? When you're out in the field working, working in your household, and you gotta go get a part. You don't wanna stop and take time and then come in here and have to fill out a paperwork full you wanna go get your part, get it. And then yes, you should be able to,
No.
with a receipt.
And-
I mean, they call us.
And it shouldn't take two town employees to go get a bag of fittings either.
True,
One
true.
could be working on the job and the other one can
You're exactly
run the
right.
errand.
But
That's
if you're at a
fine.
dead stop because you need that part and you can't, you know what I mean? You can't keep on going.
And also,
You have
OSHA
to.
says you cannot leave an employee in a hole by itself unaccompanied.
Well, then get out of the hole
You
and do something
cannot,
else.
you gotta have
No,
a
you
flagger,
gotta
you
stay in
gotta
a
have
hole.
two digging. You can't leave an employee by themselves, just like on pulling a pump with the electricity. OSHA says you will have two people there, one to watch, one to do the work.
But if he's not working, you don't need two people to watch him, or one.
True.
You don't need.
No, but I'm just telling you,
Makes sense.
one guy, you can't leave one guy in a hole working while someone goes gets
I
something.
understand if he's working around electricity, I can understand that, but to have a
But no, the
guy.
only time they go get someone without a purchase order is if it's an emergency.
Okay, how many different people has the authority to issue a purchase order?
How many different people?
Well, yeah.
Two council members can approve for them to go spend, chances are we know what they're doing out in the field.
Okay, what if they're not
Then they
here?
come to
What if they're not here?
Then they usually pick up the phone, they'll call. And if it's an employee, then I'll pick up the phone, hey, I need this fitting to finish this. How much you think it's gonna be? Yeah, go ahead. And then I said, did you talk to Dave or Shane? Yeah, I've talked to both, two of them. Yeah, okay, go ahead and get it. And then when they get it, then they come back and bring the receipt and fill out the
Who's
purchase
in
order.
charge of the tool house over here? Where you buy your expensive tools and
The department heads are
when they bring you an invoice, does it have a serial number on it? If it's a $500 item.
They don't bring it to us, that goes to your clerk treasurer, that's your records keeper.
To where?
The clerk
To the
treasurer
clerk
is the
treasurer.
records keeper.
He staples the purchase order, he handles all that.
Yeah, Kevin's handling it now, but before. I'm talking-
Before they always handled them, that's always been the clerk treasurer, I didn't the board. Everything goes to that clerk treasurer's office, they're the records keeper.
So doesn't he need to know about a PO to get it approved?
That's why they go to him, he's got a good system.
I mean, that's
in
what it
place.
used to be,
Yeah.
I thought, we went, what was Lisa?
Well, you always come up here,
Yeah.
and you got your purchase order, Sean worked here.
We're talking about money, but the houses that West T takes over and the buildings and all that, where's that money come from?
Redevelopment, if it's in the redevelopment district. Now, this building over here was just turned over, Tommy got it gave to the town.
Okay, we gonna do that.
He's got the, union operators are knocking it down for him for free, and then.
I think he told me that they stopped,
can't.
they can't gonna do it. In fact, that was something I was gonna bring up tomorrow, because the equipment belongs to the waterworks. The waterworks is getting ready to put in, I think he told me about 15 new services our little, what's it called?
Backhoe.
No, not the
Mini
excavator,
excavator.
the mini excavator is getting, worn out by
Well, cause everybody uses it.
the redevelopment. It's not big enough to be tearing down houses, and that's what they're doing. And it needs, it's getting worn out. Now our waterworks is afraid it's not gonna be in shape to do what he needs to do with it. So now we're in a dilemma here, because yes, we're doing the town Tommy and whoever's behind him, Braden's helping him. They're getting these dilapidated abandoned houses tore down, but at what expense? At the expense of our equipment that we need, that the waterworks had. So you know what, we're here in a dilemma. Does the redevelopment have the money to upkeep? Does that piece of machinery isn't actually big enough to be demolishing the houses?
Well, the 3 houses he's tearing down right now, he ain't gonna get above that. That's just him what's over.
So see, then that's at the expense of also the waterworks equipment. So, you know what, it's as broad, it's, what do we do here? We're caught in a dilemma, you know what I mean? I understand it's making our town better, but at the expense that our waterworks has to replace this equipment.
Well, first
Because
thing you
they're
need to
getting
do is sell that grader, cause it's nothing to this town. That
Hey.
grader is no good.
Right.
Hey,
I was an
hold on,
operating
guys.
engineer.
I'm gonna shut you guys down.
Yeah,
Cause this is a budget hearing, we gotta stay on budget.
I'm not talking about money, but I'm talking about the fuel that goes in all this that West Terre Haute spends.
What we're talking about is budget.
Yeah.
Where you
Correct.
go with purchase
Yes.
orders and how the money's being spent.
correct.
That
And
is
the
budget.
the redevelopment is part of the town, because
Sure it is.
they got in there, it divided some, ended up getting some of our tax dollars when they established the redevelopment.
I'm on one more. Is the redevelopment is the one that took my house from me over there? That Tommy tore down? No, don't smile. Am I right?
I wasn't on it.
No, who took it from you?
I won't get into that.
Well, I was on the board.
Okay. Carol Weir and her family gave me that house. And next thing you know, Tommy was on the town backhoe, tearing that house down on 9th Street right there.
You're talking about the one that you was gonna make a parking lot?
Yeah. Listen, I know nobody knows this but us.
I know all about it.
That house was given to me. When I pulled up there, Tommy had a flat tire on the backhoe, and I said, when's this house gonna be done so I can have it? He says, don't worry about it. Tell Terry he doesn't even have to send paperwork to the prison to get that guy, Carol Weir's brother, to sign it over to me. Listen, this one that you don't know. When all that come, he said, tell Terry not to worry about it. I called Terry, I said, don't worry about it, it's ours. I don't need to get a hold of that guy. Next thing you know, Tommy finished tearing it. You can ask him.
No, I was there when he tore it down.
Yeah. Tommy finished tearing down that house, and he told me, oh, it's got to go. What'd he say?
An auction or something.
It's got to go through an auction. I said, no, it don't. That house is given to me. And whatever committee y'all's on took that house from us. Yeah, it's okay, whatever, but it was wrong. But the town backhoe tore that place down for the redevelopment committee.
Yeah, I know it, but we couldn't tear it down without a deed and abstract. I mean, we don't have the authority to tear it down.
Well, I'm just telling you, that house was mine. You can ask the man right there.
Well, at the time that we tore it down, you guys had the deed now.
Yeah, got the deed, and you shouldn't have. It should have went to us, but it's okay.
How's he supposed to know that? I mean.
Oh, I know who's supposed to know that.
I know who you're talking about, he's not here.
Yeah, he was a town board member at the time.
Okay, guys, back on the budget.
Thank you.
I am talking about West Terre money.
You gotta stay, it's a budget hearing. You gotta stay on the budget. Any other questions?
A question, I
Yes,
think this has to do with the budget. Water, now when people come to get the water, is it 50 cents?
To start it.
To start it.
You have to put 2 quarters in to start it.
Okay.
And then after that, you can put a quarter in.
Okay, because I saw the sign out there and it said, you know, water 50 cents, and I thought, how much water would I get for 50 cents?
That starts
Start,
it.
start, okay.
To start it, and then you just
It makes
add a
sense
quarter.
now. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
understand why.
Oftentimes people put 10 quarters in and then the system don't kick on.
And
I understand, yeah, I watched them do that many years ago.
We had a-
Then that.
so I guess y'all read West Road Issues. We had a resident write something about thanking Kevin for coming over here and starting that machine. Kevin is the only one that has a key for that room because his documents are in that room. No one else can get in that room. Steph can call him, but there's no one else that has a key to that room. He is the only one that has access to that room because of the money and the records. The board, the cops, no one can get in that room.
I
but
just didn't understand what the 50 cents was
Yeah.
for.
That's to
Now
start
it makes sense.
And it's
why.
still way cheaper than across the river.
Oh, I'm not doubting that, but I lived
Well, they tell us
behind
it's
that
5
for
hours
20
open
years.
now.
I know, I watched a lot of
Right,
quarters.
yes,
go in
as I
there.
imagine you have, yes.
That just starts, it gets you like so many minutes, and then every
Okay.
time
Oh,
you
it's per
add.
gallon,
It makes sense,
not
right,
per
50
minute,
Yeah, per gallon.
per gallon.
Anybody else? Yes, Mr. Sibley.
Sorry. It's not negative, I promise.
No, bring out.
We want a balance, we
you got
like the
questions?
balance, okay, yes.
Josh Sidler, live at 206 North 7th Street. Been in West Terre for about 10 years. But you guys have a Facebook page. I know everybody's working towards transparency. And this reference budget as well, giving more notification on your guys' page. Because seeing it, I think some people seeing it West Terre issues instead of it coming straight from you guys or whoever runs that page. I've been a PIO for over 20 years, so I know where, just getting that out to the media, to the community, is gonna also benefit the town itself, you guys. Instead of, because all they're gonna do is just go through and go, hey, this come from West Terre Issues or some private group. They'd rather hear from you guys.
Well, you're exactly right. I know it's West Terre issues. Everybody likes to be anonymous. Everybody likes to throw mud.
And like I said, like I said, for 20 years, that's what I've done at the fire department. I mean, I talk to the media. I've been on social media, posted. Do you always get positive things out of there? No, you don't. Sometimes you get some people that they're still gonna say things, but that's fine, let them. You guys are putting it out there. The second thing is reference, obviously, the budget's coming up. Do you guys, I know you guys are working on this year's, I get it. But we all know that the next couple of years are gonna be hard for everybody in the state of Indiana. And what your guys' plans are, I think that's gonna be, no one needs to know today, but I think we've been moving forward for the next couple of years. And I know that the politicians are gonna try to work really hard to get that Senate Bill 1 changed next year because it's affecting everybody.
Yeah, because we don't know what our tax levy or anything's going to be next year.
Working with Central Dispatch as the assistant director, I get what's going on. I mean, so we just need, I think as a community, we gotta know what's going on. I sit in these meetings as an assistant director for budgets. And one day you're like, hey, I can give you guys this, but maybe next day I can't. So, I mean, we get it, but the people are still gonna have to work. If they still really enjoy their job, I know everybody's hard on cash, like you said. So those are just a couple things I look at. I've watched it for a couple of years living here. You got it, it's a nice page. We need to communicate better with the community instead of hearing from the junk pages.
Who got handle that?
So that's all I have.
We have one person currently working on the website, but the problem is the website's not a good one. We gotta redo it because it's not friendly enough for everyone. It's gonna cost money, and I don't really have it at the moment. It is on the list of things, but we really do need a better, more friendlier Facebook page as well as a website. I have access to it too, but I'm afraid to do something without making some really big mistakes. So,
And I can teach you, buddy.
well, I need the education, all of this scares me too, because we do need to do a better job there. I'd love to have our ordinances there. Every single thing we need to speak out, we should speak there. I'm totally for that. I just don't have the skill set. And on another note, a budget note, I'm also not an accountant.
No.
I have accountants here, coming here, state board. None of us are accountants.
I have associates in accounting.
And the idea behind where we are financially is still not known. The State Board of Accounts, if you ask them, they would tell you they don't know. They're deep, they're gonna keep going deep, they're gonna see what our cash value is and how to better guide us, and then we'll take that guidance. You know, and then they'll come in for the 23-24 and do something very similar, and we'll again take their guidance. The history of this town's financial woes are deep and wide. And we are having to change everything about what we did from the past to what we're going to do in the future. And it is a learning curve for everybody. And I appreciate you guys coming, hearing us out. Any kind of advice you can share, any information you provide helps us make better decisions. Right now, I'm in a state of limbo with the State Board of Accounts because we have such a financial challenge ahead of us. We're really turning over every pebble, every rock, every means possible to make this work financially. It's those three people that have to make the decision though, but the information is important that they have all of it.
Yeah.
We don't have all of it. So that's why it's taken this time to work through this process. They actually have until December 31st to make all things possible. And I'm sure we're gonna use it because we have a lot of corrections to make. I'm hoping everybody continues to come and works with us in this process. I hope there are committees to come about to share information and ideas, get information out there. And any kind of resources that are out there that possibly could help us benefit, bring them to the table. For especially me, I know we need everybody's help. It's going to take everybody's help, and it's going to be a little painful.
Especially think, guys, we got 3 new people sitting here.
Sure. I have one question. Has anybody talked to the Terre Haute Police Department to see if they would be able to take West Terre Haute to patrol it?
We have to go with Vigo County,
We'd have
not
to go with
Terre Haute
Vigo.
City.
We would have to go with Vigo County Sheriff.
Vigo County, yes.
I can tell you what Phil just did. Phil thought we was laying off cops, which it may have to happen. He don't know how he's gonna cover it. He said he's got 1 cop that works this side of the river. So that guy might be negotiating. If your door gets kicked in West Terre Haute, you're waiting until he gets here. As a prime example, last Saturday night, a guy was beating his wife out here by Consolidated School. Glenn Brock took the call because the nearest sheriff was in Prairie Creek. So Glenn took the call. When he got there, the guy attacked him. Glenn fist fought him, got him down, got him to the thing. Sheriffs are scattered out in different areas. I mean,
I think they have north, south, and west, and because they have 3 in the overnight hours. I don't know how many they have during the day.
well, they got for the whole,
They got 4.
they got
They
4
have 4
sheriffs
districts.
on for a whole county. Isn't that Josh?
Is it north, south, east,
They
west?
usually have 4 on, they might have 5 with a supervisor. Their lowest that they're allowed to go down to is 4. So, usually, but 90%.
Now, they have a reserve program too,
Yeah.
so they might have some reserve too.
Phenomenal reserve program.
Yeah. So they can have 5 to 6 on at a time.
I do know in me and Chuck's second term, when we met with them, Greg Ewing told us give them $350,000 a year and they'll patrol this town. So that was him, but here's what he was gonna do, is he was gonna hire 4 of these officers to be sheriffs and he was gonna put them over here. But it was $350,000 to $400,000 a year.
And that's probably went up since then.
Right.
And that was
With
in,
the
yeah,
new
that was
administration.
2017.
Sometimes I get a message on my cell phone that there's a boil order, and is that listserv just water customers, or is there a narrower listserv just for town proper, so that you could utilize perhaps that platform to announce meetings? I'm not for sure.
Whatever that area is.
What do you mean by whatever?
Whatever
area?
tower, whatever lift station, whatever.
Yeah, like
pump
by the
house.
asphalt.
Right, but
Yeah.
so since you pay for that reach system, can you send out a message to the people of the town if Mr. Sittler was saying, I wanted to know about meetings more or a better, more reliable?
That's his.
You can call the office, you should be able to call the office
That's your
10:53 to find out when the meeting is, I mean, other than if you don't have Facebook.
So Reach is a very good system. We can categorize it for little segments of town. The water's gonna be shut off in specific areas, or it's gonna be fire hydrant's gonna be flushed. We can tell just that side of town. So you can be quite specific with that piece of equipment. We are not utilizing it completely. So it could be something that we could do. I'd have to read the bylaws or the rules of that contract, but it is a source of communication. But the people have to sign up for it. You know, you have to be, your telephone number has to be presented to the town, put into that system so you get that call. So we can't, we have to have participation in order for the information to flow correctly.
Anybody else?
I heard some weeks ago that there are some police cars that they no longer use that can be sold,
Yes.
but they've lost title. Can a lost title be required?
Yes, for $5. We've already did the application for 3 of them. Christy, one of the girls in the office, did all the necessary paperwork in order to get new ones. We'll have those new ones, and their intentions are to send them to auction.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That'd
Among
be a
other
little
pieces.
bit of revenue.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you can see out here, we don't have the parking because of cars.
Right, gotta go.
Hey, Shane,
And the street sweeper.
there is a certain, and I don't know what it is, but Adam can tell you. There's an auction site that's governmental auctions that you can also use to bid the auctions on.
Yeah, put those out there for
Yes,
sale.
I'm not sure what it is, but I can find out.
I think we have a pretty good deal down south of town, where he only charges a few $100 to run it through.
There you go.
Yeah,
Quick and easy.
he's got a deal with the city, he'll do the same thing for West Terre.
You just have to have the paperwork in order to do it. And the board has to approve the moving of those things to auction before we can do that.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? All right, everybody, thank you for coming out. Need a motion during the budget hearing.
I'll make a motion during the budget hearing.
Seconded, all those in favor?
Ah.
Aye.